There's a school of thought in chess that you should play the man, not the board. If this is true, there's a lot you can learn about your opponent from their choice of opening variation. Kings Indian and Grunfeld type players tend to be well booked up. They'll accept structural weaknesses in return for counter-attacking chances. The barrier attack takes away all black's fun from playing the Kings Indian. In fact, white can often attack black on the king side in its variation. What we're doing is we're throwing black on his own resources from an early stage. The question is black up to the task? This is a mainline Kings Indian classical variation after 12 moves. It's many players' idea of a chess nightmare for white. Black has an automatic kingside attack. If that isn't enough, there are dozens of books telling black exactly how to proceed, either to deliver mate or to create a complicated position. If you're not a master, this probably translates to it's unclear if you will be mated or not. Not much fun, unless you have days or perhaps weeks to study this one line. Isn't it time to put the ball back in black's court? The barrier attack avoids not only the King's Indian, but the Grunfeld too, and this time there are no books for black to fall back on. After d4, King's Indian players will respond with the move knight f6. White plays 2 knight f3, and black plays 2 g6. At this point, King's Indian and Grunfeld players will be hoping for the move 3 c4. But we're not going to play that. We're going to play the move 3 knight c3. This produces an instant dilemma for a King's Indian or Grunfeld player, especially I would say for the King's Indian player. Grunfeld players are used to moving their pawn to d5 in this position, but King's Indian players like to play the move d6. The trouble with this move is it allows white to play the move 4e4, whereupon black's not in a King's Indian anymore, black's in a Perk or modern defence. Returning to 3 knight c3, the only way black can cross white's plans at this moment is by the move d5. Otherwise white can just simply carry on with e4 next move. And now I'm recommending the move bishop f4. This introduces the barrier attack. Although the barrier attack has a reputation for being somewhat of a mad hacker's opening, I think this is unjustified. It's true that if black defends inaccurately, then white can often launch a devastating kingside attack. However, when black defends well, as in the main line with c5, which we'll see later, then it is necessary for white to hone his endgame skills to exploit small but persistent advantages. Again, your opponent will have no theory books to run to. Let me show you how white's basic plans in the barrier attack unfold. White will continue, in general, from this position, e3, bishop e2, knight e5. This is a very important move in the barrier attack. And then, depending on how black's defended himself, white has a choice of either razzing the h-pawn up the board with h2 to h4 to h5, and white will then hope to open the h-file with h takes g6, and then deliver mate along the h-file using the queen and rook battery, sometimes eliminating the key defenders on g7 and f6. If black counterattacks against white's centre vigorously with the move c5, then I'll be recommending a quieter approach for white, involving castling. As we'll see, there's less chance of white mating black now, but white's king is safe, and white will play for a small positional advantage. Returning to our basic barrier attack position after bishop f4, I think the majority of black players at this point will play bishop g7. They're going to have to play that move at some point anyway. And we continue naturally enough with the move e3. Black's main tries at this point involve castling, followed